Joining us now first with this developing situation and much more is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, I can give you chapter and verse.
That was hard to sit through.
What's that?
That was hard to listen to. Well, that was really tough.
The problem is these are real people that are being called racist, sexist, misogynist.
Remember John McCain? John Lewis said that John McCain's campaign reminded him of George Wallace's campaign.
That's another one. And this is the problem. These are real lives that get destroyed here. What Kennedy said about Robert Bork was despicable and disgusting. What was done to Clarence Thomas was another last-minute smear.
They tried it with Alito.
Yep. What do you make of this now that we've had time? There's not a single person in the case of Professor Ford that she mentioned that was there that has corroborated the story. And the same thing with Ms. Ramirez.
Well, number one, to the Democrats, they knew about this since July the 30th. They chose to do nothing about it. For them to complain about the process is like an arsonist complaining about a fire. The allegations against Judge Kavanaugh are collapsing. This has been the worst low point in the Senate for me, and that's saying a lot. I never thought it would get this bad. We're going to have a hearing Thursday and have a vote soon thereafter, and I look forward to supporting this good man. The takeaway for me, Sean, is that when it comes to Donald Trump, there are no boundaries, there are no rules. Whatever you need to do to destroy him or his agenda is okay, and that's very sad.
You know, Senator, we do have a serious allegation, and I've said let everybody be heard, and I know you have said the same.
Yeah.
A month ago, the girlfriend of Keith Ellison, number 2 at the DNC, one is running for Attorney General in Minnesota, repeated physical and emotional abuse. The reason I say this is selective moral outrage, a lot of the people we're talking about right now haven't uttered a word. So it's only guilt by accusation if you're a conservative or a Republican or appointed by a Republican.
Well, Democrats are willing to believe anything about a Trump nominee. They didn't believe anything about President Clinton, who had a long history of this. Here's what I can tell you. This man, Judge Kavanaugh, has been in very responsible jobs for well over 20 years. Not one woman has ever come forward to say they acted inappropriately in the workplace, that he used his power in an untoward way. These allegations are not about sex, they're about power. You don't become a serial rapist for a couple of years and hang it up. That's the garbage of all garbage coming from the Hannity camp. So here's what I think will happen. Nobody in their right mind is going to deny him a seat on the Supreme Court based on allegations 35 years old, when everybody at the high school party says they don't know what the lady is talking about, Dr. Ford. And this second allegation is not even worthy of talking about. So I hope every Republican will be fair to Judge Kavanaugh, listen to what Dr. Ford says, and render a good decision here. If he is denied a seat on the Supreme Court based on 35-year-old allegations that are uncorroborated, who in the world will come forward in the future to be a judge? There's a lot at stake here.
Senator, I couldn't get 220 people to ever stand up for me, to be honest. He's had 220 people.
I know your golf buddies, and they would not be there.
No, they'd all yeah, that's true, actually.
They would not be there.
You know, I love when people come on my show and just trash me. I have guests here that we're going to introduce in a minute. I think that's true. He's had 220 people, but they went above.
Yeah. Amen.
These are women that knew him in high school, college, law school, the Bush administration, law clerks of his. Here's my question. Many of your colleagues, when they say, I believe her, do they believe in the presumption of innocence anymore?
No, they just want to get Trump. There's no way you can say that an allegation this old, not specific to time and place, when everybody else supposedly at the party said it didn't happen, that you can render a conclusion in the favor of one person over the other. You just want an outcome. This is about outcome politics. Whatever it takes to stop Trump, we'll do. Whatever we have to say about Kavanaugh to stop him, we'll say. It's been disgusting. They've had this allegation since July. They're playing politics with it. There's been delay and deception, and it won't work. It's going to blow up in their face.
Let me ask you one final question. I'd be negligent if I didn't ask you about Rod Rosenstein and the New York Times report. They are standing by that report from last Friday. He will be meeting with the president. I honestly think it's a setup. And I think that the president should not be the one firing Rod Rosenstein. And I have been saying he should be fired and should go away a long time. I think it's a setup. And my question to you is, well, where's Jeff Sessions? That would be his department, his job. What is your take? What should happen, Senator?
Well, two things. I think Rosenstein should have appointed a special counsel a long time ago to look at DOJ and FBI abuses regarding the Clinton email scandal and the early stages of the Russian investigation. I think he's let us all down there. Secondly, there were 7 people in a room sometime after the election that were trying to wire the president and take him down, basically, take the law in their own hands. I believe that Rosenstein was probably being sarcastic. If he was really part of it, he should be fired. But I don't trust McCabe and Page as far as I could throw them. So if I were President Trump— But he's also
conflicted, Senator.
Yes, he is. He should not be overseeing the investigation of the FISA warrant because he was a part of the FISA warrant. He shouldn't be overseeing this investigation because he was in the meeting himself. I believe Rosenstein until I have reason otherwise, but if I were the president, I would make sure that I talked to him before I made that decision.
All right, Lindsey Graham, Senator, we have a lot more to get to, but we appreciate you taking time tonight. Here with more reaction.
I'll be back.